Welcome back to The Oddity Shop, the podcast where we tell you creepy, odd, weird, strange, bizarre stories from around the world. I am your curator, Kara.
Wow, you are?
I'm not your curator, Kara.
Cute.
No, I don't know who I am. I'm your curator, Zach, sitting here with the other wonderful curator, Kara, who I definitely know who you are. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I think we've gotten our technical difficulties out of the way. I don't know, though.
Hey, you know what? This time we got them figured out before we recorded. So sorry about the quality of the last couple episodes. I think we cleaned it up, but, you know, it wasn't unusual. We're back to it. What's new with you?
When have we last recorded? What is new? My goodness.
It's been like 2.5 weeks. It's been a long one.
Guess what?
What?
It's Halloween. It is spooky season.
It's spooky season, yes. We are officially in October.
So that's the best part.
We're just pretending. But I mean, let's be honest. You and I coined this year Ogtober. So I think Ogtober, September, October.
Why?
3 months of October, because it seems better than August, September, and October.
Oh, okay.
It's just all October months.
That's fine. But you just said this month is October, but we're in September.
No, I said I coined Ogtober.
Oh, okay.
You gotta listen.
I just didn't understand. Don't tell me to listen because I'll cry.
What's new?
Nothing. I have no idea because I can't even remember the last time we recorded. I don't know what we talked about. I'm sure there's something new. What's new with you? And maybe I'll think.
Well, I got to see my favorite band ever in concert and have some fun Ferndale hangs.
Okay, yeah. And then we did a lot. Okay, so that's new because we went a bunch of places.
We did go a bunch of places. We did some Ferndale shopping and then got some plants, got to see a bunch of different people. It was like a whirlwind weekend because I left on, God, what was that? Was that Saturday morning? Yeah, I went out Friday night, left Saturday morning. I went to the Oddities Expo and saw Joe and Melinda with Mystic Moons.
And Exie.
Then I got to the east side, went pretty much right from there to the concert to bed. Or, well, no, I went out after the concert. Then I woke up the next day, hung out with you and some friends.
We went to brunch.
And
First, we went to brunch.
Oh my God, I forgot about the brunch.
Yep. So we went to brunch first with a couple of our friends. Then you and I headed to Ferndale, and then we met up with a friend that we met through Eloise and just doing podcast stuff.
Yeah.
And so we hung out with him for a couple hours. Then you and I ventured off to buy plants and sage spray. And
then I eventually made it home where I wanted to sleep for 3 days, but went right back to work.
Oh, I know what I can... Because see, I needed you to remind me where we are in our lives because we're late. So then you went home. I ended up not going home and I just went to my mom's house. And because I got there at like 7-ish, she's like, well, let's go out. Okay. So then she took me out to a haunted, it's an old church that's now a brewery, but it's haunted. An old church.
Old church.
And you know what's really funny that you just pointed that out? That's how my cousin says it. She'll be like old. And that's so funny because I said it like that. That's cute. Shout out Jessica. But anyway, so then I went to this old church that's a brewery. And so I had some drinks with my mom. And then I talked to a bunch of people. And apparently my mediumship is growing because I somehow... Well, we'll just tell really quick because this is a story I wanted to tell. So my mom kept asking like, hey, we should ask, because she's gone there like a plethora of times and asked stories. She's like, you should ask. So I'm like, no, this poor kid, he's like a child, like a little baby child. And he's like cleaning up one of the tables next to us outside. And she's like, well, just ask him. And I'm like, oh my God, mother. So then I was like, she's like, my daughter wants, I'm like, God dang, you're so embarrassing. So I'm like, I'm just curious. Like, do you think this place is haunted or whatever? And he like stops and he's like staring at me. He's like, well, I'm like, well, how long have you worked here? And he's only a couple months. I think he told me like March. And he's like, well, my life has definitely changed since I started working here. And he kind of left it at that.
Like an intense way to start it.
And so I said, it was very weird. I called you after because I was like, I don't know what just came over me, but it was incredible. But anyway, I was like...
You called me 19 times in a boomer style. I would answer the phone, say hello, and you're like, it's not working. It's going to voicemail. I could hear you and your mom bickering every time you called me. And then I just put it on Do Not Disturb because I was driving.
First off, before you do that, you do the same thing to me. Our phones don't like each other and they never have for years. So don't call me a boomer. That is literally what happens every day when we call each other.
So boomer.
Anyway, rude pants. So I'm like talking to this kid and I'm just like, well, how long have you worked here? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, what do you mean your life's changed? Like, what do you, and he's like, I'm like, so you think it's haunted? And he's like, well, I don't know. And so my mom's like, well, what's changed? You know, he's like, well, I lost a lot of money. I don't even know where it went. Like my car broke down and something else, like something with his apartment, like just like really big things that had happened like in just a small amount of months since he worked there. And I just stopped. And I told Zach this the next day when I actually got to talk to him. I was like, I just stopped and I was like, yeah, but you know why that's all happened. And he drops his rag on the table. He backs up a little bit. Mind you, I'm sitting down at the table. I'm not like interrogating him, like, you know, I'm aggressively. He like drops his rag, he backs up, and then he literally does the take like where he's looking around like behind him in his shoulders. And he's like, are you like pranking me? Like, how do you know that? What are you doing right now? And he starts panicking. First off, this poor child is 18 years old.
He's going to talk about you for the rest of his time there.
So then I was like,
this crazy lady.
Yeah, I know.
This crazy boomer.
But he's like, how do you know that? And I was like, well, you know what you need to figure out. I said, you're 18. You're very young. You have a path, though, that's going to not be good if you continue doing whatever you're doing. Or I don't know if it's friends, it's family, it's something. I don't know, but you need to stop. I felt like Exie with her vague little be carefuls or whatever, you know, like, okay, give me more. I had nothing more. I just knew that that's what I needed to tell this kid.
So where do you think that came from? Was it like,
I have no idea.
Something from the haunted location? No. Was it within?
Like, because it didn't feel different. Like it wasn't me. Like when I say I don't know where it came from, it didn't feel like that. Like I just knew I had to tell him that. It was weird. So then this poor kid goes inside and he gets one of like the cooks that has worked there for a long time. Shout out Andre. And he's like, cool guy. And he comes over and he's like, I can see him pointing. And he walks over and he's like, hey, I was like, hey, have a seat. And then he sits down. He's like, I was told I need to talk to you. My mom's like, oh my God, you scared that poor kid. And I was like, no, I didn't. He goes, yeah, he just said there's a girl out there that I don't know what's going on. You need to talk to her, the one with the dark hair. And so he came up and like, he basically told me a bunch of crazy stories. And then he basically told Zach and I that anytime we want to tour, do some investigating stuff in the basement, which is pretty haunted, to just hit him up. So maybe we'll be going to this haunted church soon.
We need to lock that down. And my dentist's office, which everybody for years has told me is haunted, I finally got them to allow us in. So we got 2 places to go.
Do you feel like it's haunted when you're there, or it's just like chill?
It's kind of creepy vibes in the basement. And I've heard enough stories, especially from somebody who lived in the basement for a while, that I'm down to check it out.
Who lived in the basement? What?
One of them had to sell their house and then buy a new house, and there's like a 2-month between.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Well, that's a bunch of good new stuff.
Yeah. See, there was a bunch of stuff.
I just needed you to start it.
I got you. And now I need you to ask me a question. Let's get the shop open.
I don't have a question for you, but
you know, I hate that.
I don't care. You inspired me with one of your recent episodes. Okay. And so today we're going to get a little meta, if you will. Maybe not that meta, but. And we're going to ask, where did the whole thing start? So it's not really a question for you. It's just a question. Where did the whole thing start?
The Big Bang.
The Oddity Shop. The cabinet of curiosities. The little corner store where you can buy a raccoon skull.
Hold on. I almost wrote that episode this week.
That's so funny.
I am so glad I changed last second because of something that popped up on Facebook. That would have been the first time we finally wrote the same episode, because we never do tell each other.
No.
It's going to happen. Okay.
So anyway, the little corner store where you could buy that raccoon skull or the jar of something you probably shouldn't shake and maybe get a tarot reading on the way out. Who was the first person to look at like their little weird collection and go, you know what? People will pay to see this. And, you know, how did that turn into our modern day shops that we love? So buckle up, because we're about to take a tour through 400 years of weird.
That's a lot of years.
Okay, so we are going to start, and it is Tradescant's Ark. It's kind of where this all begins. And our story basically starts with John Tradescant the Elder. He was a royal gardener.
That's their last name?
Tradescant. Yes. Tradescant.
Gotcha.
Or Tradescant.
I don't know. It's an oddity either way.
Yes, that's true. Okay. So he was a royal gardener turned Indiana Jones before Indiana Jones was a thing. So he worked for kings and queens, traveled across Europe and North America collecting exotic plants, and then came back with more than just greenery. Which, doesn't that sound like such an amazing job, though, for kings and queens? You're traveling all over to get them exotic plants to bring back, and then you're just getting treasures along the way.
If I would have any job in medieval times, that would be that.
Wouldn't that be so fun?
What's the alternative? Shoveling shit out of the street?
I know, and I just think it would be so cool. Soon, his house in Lambeth was overflowing with everything. Fossils, ancient coins, taxidermy crocodiles, weapons from faraway lands, seashells bigger than your head. And he called it the Ark.
You know, that's better than a hoarder. Yeah, having an ark sounds better than a hoarder. Call Dr. Zazio.
So his son, John Tradescant the Younger, took things even farther. So he would be traveling to Virginia and bringing back magnolias, bald cypress, and even chief Powhatan's. Is it Powhatan? Powhatan's.
Sounds right.
Ceremonial cloak. I think that's what it is. Imagine walking into that house, like you're paying your 6 pence and suddenly being face to face with artifacts that made you feel like the world was much bigger than your little London street. That's so fun.
As soon as you say 6 pence, I just think 6 pence.
6 pence none the richer.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be stuck in my head.
That's why I put that in there. So this wasn't just a collection. It was the first public museum and the blueprint for the oddity shop that would follow. So eventually, what were we going to say?
Like the first public museum of all time, or like the first public museum of oddities?
Of oddities, yeah.
Okay.
This is kind of like where they basically track the blueprint of the start of our weirdness.
I'm with you.
Eventually, the whole collection went to Elias Ashmole and became the basis for Oxford's Ashmolean Museum, which is still there today. So technically, the first oddity shop is now a fancy museum.
Let's go. Adding it to the road trip. We can't add it to the fly trip.
Yeah. Fly trip sounds so fly trap. Okay. So then this brings us to Don Saltero's Coffee House of Wonders. This is a cool one. Fast forward a few decades and meet James Salter. Though he liked to call himself Don Saltero. He's a bit more fancy.
I love it.
I know. So he was a barber in Chelsea who had a wild connection. So his connection was Sir Hans Sloane, one of the most famous collectors of all time. And Sloane actually donated his his extra curiosities to Salter, whatever we were calling him. And so he turned his barbershop into a coffee house / curiosity museum. So you could sip coffee while looking at like a crocodile head, rattlesnakes, or like mermaid skeletons, maybe fake, but who knows? And then you can literally just be like getting your hair cut.
What year is this?
That one is... Oh, do I have... Do I not have the year for that?
Is this at the time too where like your barbershop is also doing basic medical procedures?
Oh my God,
because
probably.
I, as a non-committal person, love the menagerie. Like,
yeah, why
one-stop shop.
Year? That's crazy. But yeah, no, it's just funny. So they were even like, so this place had King of Morocco's tobacco pipe. So you could literally just be looking at this and be like, hey, I'm next to get my hair cut.
Love it.
So the cool thing about this, though, is it became the hangout spot for curious minds. So Benjamin Franklin stopped by. Isaac Newton is said to have visited. So can you imagine all these like brainiacs sitting under like a mummified fish arguing about like gravity?
I mean, I can imagine it. It sounds like a great place to be.
I really want to go. So essentially, he basically made the oddity shop kind of a cool and profitable like little hangout long before we had Instagram to show us all the cool little pics of where to go. So then we go to Dickens and the myth of the old curiosity shop. So by the 1800s, curiosity shops were so popular that Charles Dickens wrote The Old Curiosity Shop, which I need to read.
Yeah, I haven't read that one either. Although I haven't read much Dickens.
I know, but we should. Suddenly, everybody romanticized these dusty little shops. I mean, we know why. And the book followed little Nell and her grandfather, who ran a cultured shop filled with old treasures. And basically, that's kind of the gist of the book, which we should add it for the book club.
Ooh, that would be a good one.
So the novel was so popular that a little shop, not the little shop, a little shop in London just decided to put up a sign saying it was the Old Curiosity Shop. And so tourists just swarmed, and it didn't even matter if it was true. Like the idea of the Curiosity Shop as a magical mysterious place was just cemented forever.
What a smart business move, though.
I know. And that's just like the fun of it.
Just capitalize right on it.
I mean, that's the fun of it. Like to just, it's like, you know, people tell me vampires aren't real, but I'm like, they're real.
Hey, Kara, have you ever wanted to take your spiritual practice to the next level?
Oh, absolutely. And if you're looking for something that feels truly magical and not mass produced, you have to check out My Mystical Forest.
My Mystical Forest is like stepping into your own enchanted sanctuary. They offer handmade spiritual tools crafted with care, intention, and so much heart.
We're talking tarot card holders that make your readings feel elevated, pendulum boards that bring clarity, and spirit boards to deepen your connection.
And don't forget the incense burners to set the perfect vibe, plus crystal trays to arrange and organize all your favorite stones. Everything is a labor of love made from hand-selected hardwoods.
Whether you're a seasoned spiritual practitioner or just starting your journey, My Mystical Forest has the tools to empower and inspire.
Unlock the magic for yourself and seek harmony. Visit mymysticalforest.etsy.com. That's M-I Mystical Forest, and find the heirloom quality pieces that speak to your soul.
Also, for our little oddballs, for a limited time, enter code ODDBALL at checkout to receive 10% off plus a free pendulum, or simply use the link down in the show notes.
Goodbye. Oh, I just mean like that it wasn't like the shop from the book, but they're just like, hey, but we are now.
Well, some people thought it was. They were like, no, this is it. But like, you know. Anyway, so that's kind of that. So that's cute. So you could either go to a barber shop at this point, or you could go to the coffee shop. Or the old Curiosity Shop. Okay, now we go to Jake Gold, showman of the Southwest. So obviously we're heading west and across the Atlantic. We meet Jake Gold in the 1980s in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Okay. So his shop was chaos in the best way. Piles of Pueblo artifacts, wild stories, and even a parrot trained to greet visitors.
This sort of reminds me of Fen. Like Fen collecting all of his stuff out there.
Yeah. So Jake's shop was basically a proto slideshow. Sideshow. So it wasn't just about selling things. He was more about putting on a show, and he made sure that people left with a story, which is cool. So he really was just a showman of this oddity shop.
Was his last name Showman?
No, it was Gold.
Gold. Okay. He was a showman. Okay.
Yeah. So even though his shop didn't last forever, he had some legal drama. He helped turn curiosity shops into attractions. And if you like me, I wanted to know more of the drama. So I wanted to know what he did. So in the late 1890s, Gold's curio empire started shifting from wild success to like legal chaos, and his health was declining. So in 1899, he had lost his shop and he was sent to the state penitentiary.
Do we know what kind of legal troubles?
Well, so what tipped him into this troubled path? The historical records don't really lay it out clearly, but sources kind of hint that it was more of a personal scandal. And it's mentioned like he was jailed for adultery charges.
Oh,
so it's kind of drama. So after serving time, he tried to rebuild with a former associate, setting up a new place just a few doors down and calling it the original Jake Gold Curio Store, which I find really funny.
Real genius business moves here.
But his health kept failing and the partnership didn't last. And eventually he did die in a territorial insane asylum in 1905.
Okay.
I don't really know what that is different than a normal, but that's where he was.
They have turf wars there.
Yeah, and that is Gold. So now we're going to jump to Daddy Standley. Daddy Standley.
I love these names.
And Seattle's Ye Olde Curiosity Shop.
Why am I not surprised? Seattle seems like the perfect town for being part of the origin story. I don't know why.
So this is probably my personal favorite. Joseph Daddy Standley. Oh, so in 1899, he opened Ye Olde Curiosity Shop on Seattle's waterfront.
Do we think he gave himself the nickname Daddy?
Yeah. His motto was beats the Dickens.
Wow.
He gave himself that nickname.
He gave himself that nickname for sure.
So the shop had everything. Genuine totem totem poles, shrunken heads, some real and some probably definitely not, and mummies like Sylvester, who is still one of the shop's main attractions because, yes, this shop still exists.
I think I've been here.
I was going to ask you. So he's been on display there since 1955. But his story goes back to the 1890s. So the legend says Sylvester was discovered in an Arizona desert, perfectly preserved with a bullet hole in his stomach. And some say he was an outlaw. Others claim he was a cowboy who met like a bad end in a shootout. For decades, people argued about whether he was even real. And some said that he was just like a convincing paper mache prop. But in 2001, the shop had him CT scanned. And in 2005, they did an MRI. Turns out Sylvester is 100% real human bones, human organs, even traces of arsenic from the embalming fluid that was used to preserve him. And the wild part is that the scans revealed that somebody like deliberately embalmed him, that it wasn't just like a natural desert mummy. Someone took the time to inject him with the arsenic solution, which stopped him from decaying, obviously. But it's just standing in front, and it's like really surreal.
I'm going to forget to ask this because either I saw this on TV or I went there as a kid. So Mom, Dad, when you listen to this, let me know, did we go there?
I was going to ask you if you've gone. So, yeah, I mean, his skin is really leathery and like really nasty tight. Like his mustache is still there and he's just staring off into like eternity. It's really weird. So again, visitors debate like who he was, outlaw, gunfighter, or just a regular guy who just like got unlucky. Either way, though, this was part of the museum, part gift shop, either way, this part museum, part gift shop, and part roadside oddity, and it all kind of just worked. And so over 100 years later, the shop is still there and still run by the descendants, which I think is cool.
Oh, that's fun. Keeping it in the family.
Yeah, luring some tourists and oddballs alike. So I thought that was kind of cool. And that's when we could really go to. Next time I go visit my brother, I'm going to be like, you got to take me here. I got to see Sylvester,
absolutely.
My friend.
You also have to go to, there's a really cool magic shop and a left-handed store in the market that are.
I remember you wanted me to go
vibes.
To the left-handed shop to get you some stuff.
I need those notebooks.
I know, but I didn't go. I didn't go to Seattle.
Rude.
That one's rude.
I just got that TikTok sound out of my head. Thank you.
Got it back. So those are kind of the first ever. So, why do these shops still work? And obviously it's because they let us feel the wonder. They let us be curious. And you can obviously scroll through TikTok all day, but nothing compares to walking into a place where there's a jar labeled mermaid tears. And you don't know if it's a joke or a spell ingredient or a very niche cocktail garnish. I just never know when I look around an oddity shop. Right?
I mean, I probably wouldn't put most of those dusty old things in a cocktail, but you never know. It depends on what number of cocktail I'm on, I guess.
So I was going to ask you which one of these do you want to go to, but we want to go to all of them. That's a stupid question.
Wait, I have a counter question for you.
Okay.
What's the best one you've ever been to?
I don't know, but I really like the one that I want to take you by my house, the Oddball Antiques, because it just feels so homey there and like, I don't know. I just really like the vibe there. I need to go back. They're only open the weekends and I always miss it. That's what kind of sucks about it.
Ooh, we should go the first weekend of October.
I was thinking about it.
Okay, let's do that. I think my favorite one that I've been to was just this really tiny little one that I stumbled upon when we were in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And they just had like, sometimes you go into places labeled oddity shop and it's like, you can tell it's like new resin pours and like, it's just like a newer. Okay.
Bullshit.
This one just like, it felt old and creepy. Everything was super old in there. All the furniture, the displays, it was just like a perfectly curated, like, I feel like when you picture oddity shop in your mind, that's what it was.
I love that. So I've just thought about this. If you're listening to this, it is October 2nd. So in 2 days, October 4th, if you are close to the Flint area, we are going to a Gothic garden party in the Flint Cemetery. So look it up and come find us.
And apparently come in Victorian costume, which you still have to help me order.
Yep, I know. So anyway, we should post about that before just this, but you got 2 days.
But in case we forget to post about it, hey.
You got 2 days to come hang out with us.
And put together a costume.
No, they don't have to dress up, but it's just encouraged. It's a little tea party.
Kara's making me dress up. I'm making them dress up.
First off, you don't have to dress up, but me and Joseph are going to be dressed up and we're going to be very cute. So do you want to be by yourself, not dressed up?
Well, it did say Gothic or Victorian. And like, if I could find a good old pair of my trip pants, that'd be fun.
It's not Gothic it's Gothic Victorian.
It said Gothic or Victorian dress, I do believe.
It's just Gothic. I don't have time for this.
I go with like Liberty Spikes,
like trip pants. I was just going to say and we're all like, sir.
Sir. Read the room.
Holy shit. Okay. Oh, there's hair in my mouth. Okay. So obviously, before we wrap up, I have to share some modern day oddity shop stories, or more like antique thrift store stories that I kind of found fun from the wonderful Reddit, because I wanted to give us some.
Wait, can I share one of my own?
Yeah, go.
Okay. So I took you, speaking of our Ferndale trip, to the Rust Belt for the first time, which is the best flea market in all of Ferndale. What'd you say?
We're about the plants, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Where you bought the plants, where you tried to steal the plant. And then I forgot to tell Kara it was multiple shops in one. And then we're like walking through. I'm like, oh, you got to pay for that. But we went back. We paid. It's okay. But they have a little oddity shop there that's been there for years and years and years.
It was cute.
And they have a lot of really cool stuff for like such a small little area, but they have a lot of
very tiny, but cool.
The preserved jarred animals. And about 5 years ago, I had asked her, and somewhere I have the owner's card where, God forbid, one day if Reptar, my bearded dragon, passes, she is going to help preserve him in a jar for me so I can keep him forever and ever. And that's my oddity shop story. Is that weird?
No, but it makes me want to cry.
Well, he's got plenty of time left. I love you, buddy. He's literally looking at me as I'm saying this.
Because he's listening to you like you're going to do what?
Keep him forever.
Okay. So I really did try to find ones that were like oddity shops or curiosity shops. But everything through Reddit or stories that I was looking was just people asking what the best oddity shops to go to are. So I did have to kind of go more of like an antique shop, but that's okay because those can be oddity little things too. Okay, so this one is from Our Paranormal. It got deleted, so there is no user. But it was, have you ever gotten a bad vibe or a strange feeling while at a thrift store or antique store? So that was the question on it. And then, like I said, the user's deleted. I really dislike those secondhand thrift stores. They creep me out. It sounds dramatic, but I look at the items and I wonder what life they had. Did those shirts over there see more misery than happiness? Did that suitcase get to see the whole world, or just sit in the sit unused in the closet? The thought that somebody may have died in or on something really creeps me out. Antique stores are the same. I wonder what secrets the items hold or what things they've seen in their life. In saying that, actual antique items don't bother me that much, but I think that it's because my mom collects antiques, so I'm used to having them in the house. I also don't have any issues with secondhand games or DVDs, so basically thrift stores and antiques stores freak me out, but individual antiques items don't necessarily freak me out, but secondhand clothing, luggage, jewelry, and hats do. Oh, and antique paintings, fuck them. Ever since I heard about the haunted eBay painting, oh my God, and dolls, no, just fucking no. Edit. My intention wasn't to offend anyone, by the way. I don't think buying from those stores is bad or anything. It just freaks me out. I just liked this one because it started off like really cool, like where I was like, oh my God, when you think about it, it's like, what did those items see? And the one that says, oh my God, more misery than happiness, almost.
I think about that every time I'm in.
I've never thought of it like that way, though. Like, did that shirt have more misery or more happiness in its life? That is so crazy.
You know what? Where I always think about it, and I don't know why, is when I'm like looking at, not that I'm buying them for myself or anything, but I have to look at everything. But the vintage handbags. Because there's just something about like a woman's purse has like all their things in it. And it's like, how did it get to an antique shop? How many people owned it? Like, how many stories were attached to it? It's always for some reason like the handbags that just get
that
me.
Actually is really, I don't want to say disturbing to think about, but like my great aunt always like would just be like, you don't ever go into somebody's purse. Like, it's so personal. Right. Like, where to me, I'll be like, here's that, go fiddle through my purse and find it. Like, it's different. But it was like always one of those things where that purse is so personal, like you don't go through it. So it is really weird, actually, now that you say that, like when you think about it and you do see beautiful bags, it's like, what was in that?
That's the one. Like,
did Betty
I can look at
gun?
books. I can look at the clothes. I don't know why. It's always, for some reason, I always start to think about the story of the handbag.
That's so creepy. I'm gonna think about that now every time I look at a handbag.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Okay, this is like a different vibe, but it still happened at a thrift store, so I had to put it in here. This is from wonderful _ bid 9269 psycho in a thrift store. I had a creepy encounter in a charity shop selling secondhand clothes and whatnot. 20 years ago, I was in my early 20s at a university and wasn't a shy or nervous person at all, but this experience haunted me. The man did nothing wrong, but I just got the strongest creep vibes I've ever felt. So I go in to browse. It's quite busy in there, and whilst looking around, I spotted a man who worked there. It actually felt like he spotted me. I hate that line. Ugh. And would keep looking over, etc. I instantly felt very uncomfortable. I mean, this guy who looked very normal made my blood run cold and really frightened me. I tried to avoid his gaze, but something unsettled me in a way that has never happened to me before or since. A real stranger danger feeling that I wasn't used to, especially from a shop assistant.
I hate that feeling when people just like whatever it is about their vibe that just like gets
you can't
right
shake
in.
it.
Ugh.
He never came over and asked if I needed help or anything. It was just a weird instinct kicked in and for me to get the hell away from this man and fast. I said no. Oh, I'm sorry. He did come over to ask for help. I said no, thankful. No
thankful.
I said no, thank you, and quickly left the shop. I literally wanted to run. I was so surprised by the terror this man's presence caused me to feel. Like I said, I was quite a confident young woman, not easily spooked by people at all, but he terrified me. Just that gut feeling. Throughout my life, I've had my fair share of creepy guys who have been interested in me and displayed that in a weird way and never been freaked out by it. But there was something so incredibly off about him. Despite this, there was a pair of jeans I liked in there. So I made my boyfriend...
Sometimes you got to go through it for a good pair of jeans.
So I made my boyfriend come with me the following day, as there was no way I was going to use the fitting room on my own with that creep there. We went in, he was there, nothing happened, and I tried on my jeans, didn't like them, and left. I like how she doesn't like them.
That's a lot of work to not buy them.
I didn't think any more about it other than I wouldn't be going back there again. A couple of days later, my parents visited and we were sitting having breakfast in a cafe. My dad was reading the local paper and he said, "Look at this." He turned the paper to me and it was a photo of the man who 100% happened to be the creepy man from the shop. The article was about how he had just been released from prison for stabbing his girlfriend 14 times.
Yikes.
After an incredibly short sentence, he was allowed to live and work in the same town his poor victim and her family are from.
I feel like if you do
you have to move
crime like that, you just should have to wear a shirt that says like, "I stabbed my girlfriend 14 times."
And you
ask
should
me about it.
Yeah.
True.
And he was given a job to help him resettle into society or whatever. It really did stay with me. I was horrified that I'd interacted with this man, but knew at that point to always trust my instincts because they were screaming at me to get away from him. Isn't that freaking weird, though?
It's unsettling for sure.
Can you imagine, though, like literally 3 days, you're just like dad just opens the paper and he's like, "Hey, Zach," and you're like, "Bah."
Do you know how many times, like, without putting it together, that's probably happened where like somebody who gave you a bad vibe had probably done something freaking terrible?
Oh, yeah. I did a TikTok about it. What is it? You literally walk past like 8 murderers in your lifetime.
And yet still none of them have put me out of my misery now.
No, I'll do it. All right. So I think we got 2 more. We got Perfect. 2 more. Strange feeling at an antique store.
Why are you all of a sudden from New York?
I don't know.
You sound like Morena.
Really?
For some reason, that's the accent she always chooses to do.
Oh, I like it. This one also didn't have a use the. Today, I went into an antique store to look for old electronics. I'm 15, and I went to the electronics section and made my way to the back. Immediately got a strange feeling. I wanted to get out of there because I felt a terrible sadness that I couldn't control. Immediately after, a boy walks by me and sparks conversation about the stuff being old. He tells me he collects old electronic. I know. He collects old. He collects old electronics as well. And I'm already past the section and I didn't mention anything. Basically, she's saying that like she doesn't know how he knew she also collects old electronics. He seemed very intelligent at it, as if somebody was speaking for him. I feel like a lonely spirit was trying to communicate with me through him. Is this possible? Am I reaching too far on this? That's it. I just thought it was cute because it's a little 15-year-old like, hey,
it might be reaching, but
he literally could have just seen her. He could have just seen her in the electronic section. I just thought that was so cute.
Sometimes you just got to have an experience. I
love it. But this is why places like this make you automatically have weird, like...
your weird vibe meter is always
It's just
on.
Like, because like he literally could have just looked across the store and seen her in the electronics, which is probably what happened. He's like, oh, she's cute. Let me just go talk to her. And like this girl's like, oh, he seemed intelligent, like somebody took over him. Maybe he was just intelligent.
That's a nice way to say it. He looked dumb, but
I just had to add that because I thought that was so fucking cute. Like dumb little 15-year-old. Okay. This is another from our paranormal. It's from Victor Grew 6. My unusual experiences at a vintage antique store. Employee edition.
Ooh.
Okay, so hi everyone. I'd like to preface this by saying that working at my job has completely changed my perspective on the paranormal. For context, I work at a vintage store that specializes in old, antique Western American artifacts. The store is located in a wealthy part of the state where a lot of wealthy people buy in bulk to decorate their second and third homes. Must be nice. This means we have a lot of sourced items being moved in and out of the store at all times. I'm not part of the sourcing. I am simply selling items and helping manage the store. Most, if not all of the items obviously have energy attached to them. Not always good energy either. Within 3 months of working there, I knew it was haunted and that the resident spirits had taken a liking to me. With the coming and going of items, certain energies and events occur and stop too. Experience 1. My moment of realization. Things were sort of weird from the beginning, but I always chalked it up to it being a somewhat old building. One morning, I was opening the store on my own. It was in the dead of winter and everything was very dark and snowed in. The moment I walk in, it's freezing. I think the heater conked out at night. I go and I turn it on and see it's working perfectly fine, and the warmth it's emitting seems to be dissipating after a couple of feet. I ignore it and turn on the main floor lights. I know. I walk downstairs where it's pitch black. This is where we keep majority of our vintage items, and before I can turn on the lights, our music turns on full blast. Problem is, the music isn't an automatic system. I control it myself from my phone, and I had yet to turn the system on. I was the only one in the building and around the general vicinity, so no one else could have turned it on from their phone. After calming down from the scare, I turn on the lights to discover that all the pillows have been thrown off their massive vintage leather couch. I still think it's weird, but I try to rationalize it by saying maintenance must have come in the night to fix something, and they did that.
They probably chopped the pillows incorrectly, pissed off the spirits.
I know. Could you imagine? You fucking put the pillows on here wrong and they just throw them. I clean them up and walk downstairs again to find all the lights I've turned on have gone out. The light switches were switched off again, not just the power. Again, I ignored it, turned them on again, and I walked outside to open the front door and turn our open sign on. This is the moment where I realized everything. Our locally made chapstick display, a heavy thing, gets completely swept off the shelf. Like someone aggressively pushed it off in front of me. It did not fall. The shelf didn't budge. It was pushed off. 50 to 100 chapsticks go flying everywhere, and the acrylic case shatters into pieces. The music system suddenly starts playing the music very loud again, and I'm just frozen in shock. Things suddenly get very quiet, as if they just wanted me to finally acknowledge it. The computer screen turned on seconds later, as if it was telling me to go to work now. I think I stood there for a solid 10 minutes just frozen.
I bet. Okay, here's my bet. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
He sold somebody's handbag and she didn't want people going through it.
I don't know why, but I assumed this was a female. But maybe they did sell somebody's handbag.
They sold somebody's handbag.
Okay, but we have experience too.
Okay.
If that wasn't wild enough.
So this is the same person?
Yes.
Okay.
The wall of mirrors.
Oh, God. No.
Okay, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I started reading this and then stopped because I wanted to be a little bit surprised. Okay. This took place around 4 months ago. Our main vintage collector had brought in old vintage mirrors he found in different places and constructed a wall of them on the side of the stairs going down. I came back from vacation slightly horrified. I feel like mirrors just hold really bad energy, especially ones owned by other people. Also, down the stairs creeps me out too, because like you're already going to get pushed down the stairs by all of these ghosts, and now the mirrors are there. We got portals. Or like
you start
on
to
the
lose
stairs.
your balance and you like see all sorts of different stairs. I would probably just fall.
Oh God. Yeah, that true. That true?
That true.
That too.
Fair enough.
So it was a normal day at work, helping customers, logging inventory, etc. One of the employees was working with me and we were casually chatting about life. Anyway, she went downstairs to help a customer with finding the price on a vintage fur coat and some artwork. It's when the customer's daughter is walking upstairs, aka passing the mirror wall, that she screams. I, being the person in charge, ran towards the scream to check everything. This girl is inconsolable and claiming that she saw a shadowy figure in the mirror. The mom is claiming her daughter, calming her daughter, saying it's just a shadow. I investigate. I don't see anything, just the normal bad feeling I experience passing these mirrors. We help this lady and she eventually leaves with her items. A couple hours later, a different woman wants to buy a wall coat track. What's that? Wants to buy a wall coat track right by the mirrors. Oh,
like a I think hanger like that sticks
I think
to the
it's
wall.
supposed to be coat rack.
There you go.
It's definitely supposed to be coat rack. Okay, whatever. And my coworker is holding the other end of the coat rack. Yeah, it is supposed to be coat rack. Okay. Her face pales. She's staring at the mirrors and can't look away. I see her do a double take and continue to stare at them. I'm concerned and finish helping this lady out. Immediately she leaves. I return back to my coworker, who is still just staring at the mirrors. It's as if she was in a trance. I shake her out of it and she can't speak. It's only when she said my name and I look back at the mirrors do I see the same figure. A morphing figure subtly taking on different appearances. Some feminine, other masculine, no face, just features.
That's so uncomfortable.
It's disturbing. Used to these things around there by now, I drag her upstairs and sort of ignore it. The rest of the day, I heard from multiple customers about how they thought they were seeing things in that same mirror. One girl even threw up in the bathroom because she said she suddenly felt so sick walking downstairs. When I came back from my shift the next week, it was gone. My other coworker had informed me that it didn't sell, but one of the other employees walked down one day and found it cracked. I don't know what happened to it or where it went, but the rest of the mirrors are still there.
That would almost be worse because I feel like it's like now it's gotten out. Yeah.
Ooh. All of the relatively younger employees seem to experience things, but not as much as I do. The older employees don't seem to experience as much, but they agree there are weird things. Anyway, thank you for reading. And that my oddballs is the...
No.
What?
No, I don't like the mirror thing. Okay, sorry.
I don't either. No, so that's it. From Royal Gardeners and Coffee House Barbers to Seattle's waterfront legends and our Reddit bargain hunters. Oddity shops have been here for centuries, feeding our weird little minds.
And giving us inspiration.
Yes, inspiration for our whole entire podcast. If you have your own oddity shop stories, though, slide them into our DMs or somewhere because we want to hear the strange things that you've seen there or bought or made.
Speaking of that, what's like your not if when this will be more of a when because we're manifesting. What is your dream oddity that you don't yet own, but like every time you go to an oddity shop or like see them, you're like, ooh, I really want that.
I don't know if I have one.
Really?
You? I mean, I'd really like to have an octopus in a jar because I love them. But then it also kind of makes me feel sad.
I was going to say, I think I kind of want the cliche one that everyone always wants is the octopus. But I saw this woman who was making some really cool oddities once. And she was taxidermying mice, but like putting them in very people locations. And she had a whole set that was mouse strippers.
Oh my God, that's
on like a pole.
Hilarious.
And I thought it was so original and so cool. I wanted a stripper mouse.
That's really cute. For people that are listening, obviously, because we're all listening, they can't see. But this Zachary bought me. It's not a real crow head. His little feathers kind of got fucked up in travel. But Zachary bought me, it's a doll body with a crow head on it. And it is so effing cute. And it's not a real crow. It's just a fake crow. So like really, but it's like if this was a real doll, I would not want it. But with the crow head and the doll body, it is the most cutest thing ever to me. And I love it.
It's like cute and horrifying. We need to get you like one of those like doll stands so like it holds it up.
I know we do, because, oh no, his head feathers are coming.
Stop petting him. You look like a Dumb and Dumber where they're petting the bird with its head taped back on.
Oh my God, it's little baby feathers. But anyway,
okay, before you rip all of its feathers out, yeah, if you guys have any dream oddities too, if you don't have any good oddity stories, let us know. What emoji should they leave for this? I feel like crystal balls are always in oddity shops.
They could just leave an octopus.
Ooh.
Or a crow.
Perfect.
We just talked about crows.
Okay. Crow or octopus. And I don't know, Kara, let's close the shop up. I think we'll keep it nice.
I'm getting a little
short
tired.
And sweet. Yeah. What do these people need to do?
Well, we kind of already told them everything else we want to do, but the most important thing you can do for us is to creep it real, you little oddballs.
Goodbye.
Bye.